The March on Washington. The March on Washington was one of the most influential events that occurred during the Civil Rights Movement. With over 250,000 protesters, it became one of the largest civil rights protests ever at the time. However, the importance of the March on Washington wasn't due to the size of the event, but because of the laws it produced: the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
The first, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, was important because it eliminated Jim Crow laws. These laws condoned discrimination in public areas. Blacks had separate bathrooms, water fountains, hotels, and other facilities. These were often under-maintained and dirty. The Civil Rights Act ended this unfair treatment, which is why it is considered one of the crowning legislative achievements of the Civil Rights Movement.
The second act that was produced as a result of the March on Washington was the Voting Rights Act, granted the right to vote to people of all colors. Before this, the Civil Rights Act of 1957 was in place. It was supposed to give equal voting rights, but truly only acted as an illusion. White people, as expected, had no trouble voting. However, when colored folks went to vote, they were given literacy tests, which they often failed due to their high rate of illiteracy. They were also told that they had the wrong date or place, or they had filled out the polling forms incorrectly. The Voting Rights Act successfully put an end to all of these voting barriers.
Although the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act are clearly significant, you might be wondering what the March on Washington has to do with them. Well, the awareness for civil rights issues that the march spread led to increased support for such laws. Iconic speeches from many civil rights leaders, including John Lewis and Martin Luther King Jr., inspired listeners to fight for equal rights. On top of this, the incredible amount of protesters and the media coverage that the march received helped spread the message across the country. Before the march, only unsuccessful laws were passed, but after, the most important laws in bringing equal rights became a reality.